All right.
Right.
We are rocking and rolling. Yes. All right. Hello, Black Henderson. Nikki Willis here. And I have a host of people and panelists with me today. We had some technical difficulties, so we are recording this. So you are seeing this in post. Don't worry, people. I did promise one of you wonderful viewers an Amazon gift card, and I promise we will pick one of you. So what I need you to do is Kathy already has her hand up. Keith already has his hand up. Y'all can't be in it, okay? It's for our viewers. It's for our parents who have joined us today. So what I need you to do is, as you're watching this, we're going to give you guys 24 hours to watch this, okay? We're going to post it. We're going to put it up in Black Henderson tonight, and we'll give you 24 hours to watch it and comment. Those of you who comment, we will put your name in a drawing and we will randomly draw that person 24 hours from now. So that is how we're going to do it. See, I told you, I got you, okay? So those of you who do not know me, I am Nikki Willis. I am the co-founder of Black Henderson. It's an amazing group of people here in the city of Henderson that celebrate Black excellence, that celebrates Black scholarship. And today we are talking about how our children, our Black children, can excel with distance learning. So a little bit more about me. I am an entrepreneur. I hail from Cincinnati, but my husband and I moved here a little over a year ago with our children, and we have been living in Henderson ever since. We're both entrepreneurs. I also host a podcast called the Front Burner Podcast, which is for mompreneurs to thrive and take their dreams and passions and side hustles off the back burner, put them on the front burner, and make money while doing it. So that is what I do, but enough about me. I want to introduce to you my lovely panelists here. And I'm gonna go from, counterclockwise to where I'm looking. So first we have Maisha McLean. Maisha, wait for us. And I will go ahead and read her bio. Maisha is an educator, advocate, and an entrepreneur. She has 14 years of experience in working with scholars from pre-K to 12th grade. She has earned her master's degree in education and administration, leadership, and her bachelor's degree in elementary education and special education. She's made many contributions to education by teaching scholars and advocating in the communities, contributing to the development of state policies, leading teams, and training parents and teachers. So, honey, she is doing so great, okay? So she hopes to use her experience in education to ensure all students, regardless of their abilities, have access to an appropriate education. She's currently working in collaboration with educators around the US to develop a book and resources for effective measures of teaching foundational reading skills. Maisha is more than a leader in education. She is an influencer to all. So thank you so much, Maisha, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right, next up we have Miss Kathy Carter, and Miss Kathy is our 5th grade teacher here with CCSD. Miss Kathy's been teaching for over 21 years, guys, and she actually started in Inglewood, California. So obviously we here at CCSD are super blessed to have her as a part of this district. She graduated from Bradley University in Public Relations and Mass Communications, and then she received her master's degree at National University in Multicultural Curriculum. So that's pretty cool. And her favorite subject to teach is math. So Miss Kathy, I'm gonna be hitting you up later on this year when I can no longer teach my 4th grader all his math skills. Okay. Also, Kathy volunteers with Hope for the City once a week. She and I used to do it together as of last week. But she also volunteers with the pop-up food pantry. So welcome, Miss Kathy. All right. Oh, and she's giving us the finger snaps, y'all. See, I told y'all this is going to be good. All right. Next up, we have Daisheen Smith. She is our 10th grade English teacher with CCSD. And Daisheen is a veteran educator, a mom coach, love that, and a budding entrepreneur. Originally, she's from Chicago, and she's been given the opportunity to grace classrooms. Oh, we got another Chicagoan, Miss Kathy. So she's been gracing classrooms, transforming minds in some of the largest public school districts in the country, including Chicago, Las Vegas, and Los Angeles. She currently teaches 10th grade, specializing in English, language arts, and English as a second language. She holds academic degrees in the following areas: Bachelor's of Arts in English from Alabama A&M University, Master's of, another HBCU grad, yes. She's got a Master's of Science degree in journalism from Roosevelt University and a Master's of Arts in teaching from National Louis University. Welcome, Daisheen. You can say hi.
Hi, thank you.
Hi. Okay, I'm so happy that you guys are here. Okay, two more. Yeah, I'm already like super excited. Okay, so next up we have Rhea Watson, AKA the Scholarship Doctor, y'all. Okay, if you haven't heard her on the radio, her scholarship radio show is pretty awesome, and she's full of life, so I'm so happy that she's here. And Rhea Watson is a native of Las Vegas and a graduate of Echoes Christian Academy. Rhea attended Morris Brown College, an HBCU located in Atlanta, Georgia. At Morris Brown, she completed a Bachelor's of Science degree in psychology, graduating magna cum laude. Yes, grades. And Rhea was the first African-American student accepted to the doctoral program in psychology at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Okay, we out here making history, okay? We're making history. Rhea is the president and founder of Scholarship Solutions, a premier scholarship and college consulting firm. She's also the host of the Scholarship Solutions radio show. You guys got to tune into that. And Rhea and her staff work with 100 scholars nationwide, ranging from ages 6 months to 90 years young. She has presented internationally, teaching scholars of all ages how to have a debt-free college experience. Now, y'all, if y'all know anybody that's trying to go to college, you definitely need to be in on this. All right. Now, personally, Rhea has earned more than $300,000 in scholarships, and she has helped her clients enter the colleges of their dreams and earn more than $70 million in scholarships, helping scholars' dreams become realities. Welcome, Rhea. We are so happy to have you. We are so excited to have you. Okay, and last but not least, we have Keith Stark. He is a family therapist specializing in therapy and anger management. He also specializes in the treatment of young males, adolescents, and adult males, helping them navigate and overcome difficult challenges that they may be experiencing in their lives. He's also great with juvenile justice and educated. Is that educated? Yeah, adjudicated youth. There we go. He also specializes in anger, trauma, depression, anxiety, parenting, communication, and relationships. So welcome, Keith, as well.
Thank you.
All right. Listen, I told y'all I was going to bring the best of the best, okay? So I just want you already, if you already know this is going to be amazing, go ahead and give me a thumbs up in those comments. Give us a thumbs up. Let me know that you are excited to hear what we've got going on. All right, so we are here. The kids are going back to school in less than 2 weeks. And they're going back to school right here in our homes, people. So that is why I'm bringing everybody here. Let's talk about it, all right? Now, specifically, we're talking about the majority of our children that are going back to Clark County School District, or AKA CCSD. But you may be here and you might be homeschooling your children. Your children might be going back to a charter school. It really doesn't matter. We're just happy you're here. And I know that the professionals that are here are going to give some insight. They're going to give you some tips. We're going to talk and just have some dialogue. One, to let you know that you're not alone, okay? And two, to just let you know that you can do it, okay? We can all do it. We might not know what it's looking like. We might not have all the answers, but listen, we can do this, and our children will thrive. Our children will not be left behind. Our children and our families will thrive, even with distance learning. Our children, listen, I guess I'm just decreeing and declaring some things right now, but our children and our families will have everything that they need. We will work together with our teachers. Our teachers will work with us. We will know how to communicate with our schools. This is what I'm decreeing and declaring. So y'all, Lisa said, preach. Listen, that's just my mindset, okay? We might not know everything that's going on. And, we've all been thrown into this, but we are going to choose not to be left behind, and we're going to be proactive. So let's get into it, okay? All right. Okay, so the first question, and let me bring up my notes, honey. I didn't sit up here and lost my notes. Okay, here we go. So let's talk about the first question. Let's talk about the state of distance learning. All right, I think we've all kind of got a gist of it. Our school district has had multiple meetings. The board has had multiple meetings. The administration has had multiple meetings. And basically now what has happened is the school board has agreed, obviously, to do 100% distance learning for at least the first semester. All of the sports and stuff like that is canceled. So basically it's just the district focusing on making sure that children are being taught this semester. Sports, by the way, is supposed to be coming back during second semester. Fingers crossed, that's if, the pandemic doesn't do something different. But hopefully by now, everybody has received their schedule from their school. Hopefully by now, everybody has their teachers assigned to them. And you don't have those two things, call your school tomorrow morning. Call them, talk to them, and make sure that you have that information. You can also go to ccsd.net. And they will direct you and guide you if you need to be registered and all that stuff. We want you to do this now so that you are not trying to scramble later on. All right. But so let's talk about what distance learning is going to look like. And I've got the teachers on here right now, and I'll be honest too. This is what's been going on. So the principals have been brought in. They were brought in last week, and then the teachers have also been brought in like later in the week, I believe. So you guys have had now about a week or so of professional. What is that? Professional education. What is that called? I can't remember. I don't know what the right terminology is. Professional development. Thank you. So they've had about a week of professional development, and they're going to continue with professional development next week as they prepare to teach our children. Kathy or Daisheen, can you guys kind of maybe cast a vision about what distance learning will kind of start to look like for students? And again, Kathy is for 5th grade, and Daisheen, she's doing high school.
Okay, thanks, Nikki, for having me here. I appreciate it, and I'm excited. This is fun.
Yeah, I like to have fun.
I think the most important thing is to know is that, unfortunately, most teachers are not as trained as we would like to be. We are not as comfortable with this as we would like to be, because we went to school to learn how to teach.
Yeah.
We didn't go to school to learn how to computer. And I am not computer savvy at all. So it's not an easy transition for me, but I'm going to stick with it.
Yeah.
Because it is what it is, and it's what we have to do.
Yeah.
And as parents, the most important thing is going to be is getting your child a space in your house where they can sit and learn without any interruptions. Now, if you have more than one child, you might have to put them in different rooms of the house. But it's very important that they are able to sit there and listen to their teachers for a specific period of time.
Yeah.
Now, that's not all we're going to be doing, because we know we have to move kids around. Kids are not going to sit that long.
Yeah.
And the younger they are, the less time they're going to sit there.
Yeah.
But that's, at this point, all I can say is be kind to your teacher, because she's learning just like you are.
Good.
There will be so many ways you can communicate with them, because we are setting up things on campus. We do have Infinite Campus, which we did have last year.
Right.
We are setting up in Google Classroom. So a lot of people do know about that, and they know how to use it. And then, of course, the telephone. Now, some teachers are not comfortable with giving out their phone numbers, but a lot of teachers are.
Yeah.
And if you think your teacher is comfortable with doing that, be blessed, okay? Yeah. And just get to know your teacher, so that your teacher knows that you are behind your child. Because it's the hardest thing in the world is to teach a child whose parent is not supporting them.
That's good.
It's not easy to do, because if you, and especially with them being at home. Because if a child gets up off the computer and never comes back, we can't do a whole lot. You know, they're gonna be our discipline now.
Yeah.
We won't be able to discipline them from on a computer.
That's so good.
So right now,
that's so good, because I saw another teacher. She's a friend of mine back in Ohio, and she said a lot of parents are saying that they're homeschooling their children. She said, no, I am working hard to make sure that I teach my students. And she said, basically, what we need you guys to do is be TAs. You know, she said, I need the parents to be teachers' assistants. You know,
and the younger they are, the more that somebody needs to sit next to them. Yeah. The older kids, Deshaun, you probably know more. Desheen, I'm sorry. You probably know more about that than I do, because you deal with the older kids. And I would think that they would be easier to deal with, but I could be totally wrong.
Dasheen, what do you say to as far as the older children?
So with older kids, they need just as much as somebody probably sitting there with them, because you got to realize with them, they have the phone as a distraction. They may have other tabs open. They may have the TV going in the background. So with them, parents kind of assume that they can just handle it themselves. And we've seen even with traditional school how that doesn't work. The parents think they're doing the work. They're not doing the work. So they're staying at school to get the help. They're not staying at school to get the help. So it's just as important that the parents are involved in older kids' lives, just like they would be with the younger kids, if not more so, because you're really trying to, graduate. You're trying to, ramp it up. You're trying to finish, depending on what grade your child is in. Not saying it's not important in elementary, but you're just kind of like now in high school, you're at the end point. So you need to go ahead and make it happen.
Right, and every grade counts.
That they're doing a whole year in one semester in high school?
So in high school, CCSD determined if they will do the whole year as normal. So there's not like in middle school where they're doing 1 year in a semester. Okay. For high school, they're just taking the whole entire semester. So they have 7 classes.
That's a lot.
Another thing just for parents to kind of be on the lookout for, so your kid probably won't get taught every day. A live teacher, we will come in every day, take attendance, check in on them. There will be days where we have live instruction where, your teacher may talk for the 30 to 45 minute or however long we're allocated to speak to each period, but there will be times where they will have to work independently. So as a parent, you need to make sure that you're on them, that they're meeting their deadlines. So a couple of suggestions I suggest, by just not giving them a space to work in, but make sure it's a background where there's nothing, the parent isn't popping out, or the younger brother isn't popping out of the shower, or anybody can come make funny faces in the background. So try to be against a white wall if you can, or, if you decorated your wall, but just one central location. Have up logins and due dates, because like Ms. Kathy said, we will be using Canvas. This is new to a lot of teachers, even though it's been around to the district for a long time, even though it's in UNLV and CSN. So for my parents, you guys have gone to those institutions, what you're doing if you've been there, because they use Canvas too. So it's a statewide system, and the idea behind that is that if we had it in the school district, once a lot of our people matriculate until UNLV, CSN, so they would already know how to use the system versus have to switch from like Blackboard or any of those other online digital systems. So that's one thing. Make sure you have deadlines. Logins are posted for both parents and students.
Okay.
Treat it like real school. Have actual supplies. If you can't afford a printer, that would be great, because some kids need to actually write it out. You have to adhere to your kids' learning style. Everybody doesn't learn great off of a video. Their math problems, they need, manipulatives to do the problem. Go grab a bag of beans, go get some granules of rice. Just kind of think maybe in the mindset of like our grandparents. That's the only way I can kind of think of, a way kind of like I was taught, which is like kind of old school. Like I said, I'm from Chicago, and I know a lot of Southern folk that was my teacher. So it just kind of resonates a little different, for me personally. But treat it like it's real school. Give them a space, give them the tools, still go school shopping for a few of those supplies that they still will need, because you never know as teachers are putting together the curriculum and things they will need. Have a library card is really good, because you can access a lot of the like books and stuff online. Like they have Hoopla and Overdrive. So if you have a library card, you can access all those resources for free. Another thing that I kind of put down that should do is just give everybody grace. Like Ms. Kathy said, we're all doing this together. We've all just started doing this. Nobody else can tell us, no other decade or anything like that can say like, hey, this is how we did it. We're just all new. So give it teachers grades, admin. We're getting a lot of stuff last minute, because district might change, some school board might vote on something. So we can't get mad at each other, because sometimes we're in it together and we're learning at the same time.
Yes.
Also, just be in communication with your parents. My suggestion is not just the phone, but as a Black parent, I like to get things in writing. As a teacher, I like to put things in writing. So then that way, I've laid those breadcrumbs out. If a parent ever comes back and say like, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, ma'am, yes, you did.
Receipt.
Right here on August 13th at 7:45 p.m., I sent you this email and you replied back.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
make sure you kind of have that information, so that way you have a trail, and just keep up with your kids and what they're doing. Check in, especially with the older kids. If it's not a daily thing, try to make it a weekly thing, but show them that you care. This is more important now than any other time, because the onus is really on the student if they're older, because a lot of parents already tell their teenagers like, hey, you grown, you got this, this your life, I'm done. So this is the time to kind of back them up and support them more than any other time, because they don't know what they're doing, and they're not as tech savvy as they think they are. All they know is these apps, TikTok, Snapchat.
And you don't have to check their backpacks now, but check their notes, check what they're doing, because the teacher is going to tell you, and the schedule will be on the classroom, the Google Classroom. Teachers are going to have schedules. They're going to put the assignments. They're going to tell you when they're due and all of that. So keep up with that, because kids, as soon as you turn your face, they're going to do something different.
Yep. And don't take for granted that there's going to be
sure
wiggle
that
room.
You know what the teachers are doing. And you know what? I don't know if it's happening at the other schools. I believe that it is, because there are a lot of organizations who have put together backpacks for the kids. So you might not have to buy anything. Wait till you get the backpacks. I know we're giving ours out next Thursday, I believe it is. But in those backpacks, make sure they have everything they need, but make sure they have the workbooks that they need too, because we're giving them some of the materials, because everybody, like you say, everybody can't work on the computer all day. So
Right.
we're giving them the workbooks and the reading books and all of that good stuff. And like Dasheen said, if you can afford a printer, get the cheapest one. I know I bought one for $36. I think it was from Amazon, but it works perfect. And all you need to do, whatever you need to print out, you can print out.
Yeah.
So that they can actually work on it, unless you want to have them writing everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay for the older kids. The younger kids, if you tell them to write, it will be all day by the time they get through. But with the older kids, they should be able to at least get a couple of sentences down before you start talking.
That's so good. Listen, okay, we're only about 30 minutes into this, and I'm already like, okay, I'm hearing create a space for your child. Yep. I'm hearing, let's go old school. Get out the counters. This is how we can be the TAs for our teens. If we got to break it down, help them out, do whatever we can. Parents, we can do this. These are our kids. We can help.
If you don't know how to do it, contact your teacher.
And contact the teacher.
Because your teacher can help you do it.
That's it.
I think
we have to stay in communication with our teachers. Absolutely. They have to know who we are. Okay. Yes, Bree said, you got this. Okay. Mm-hmm. We got this. Dashi, you said another good thing. Receipts, email. Listen, paper trails don't lie. Okay. Shakira said hips don't lie and paper trails don't either. So let's make sure we get that paper trail. Put this in the comments, y'all. Grace. We all need grace.
Right.
Teachers need grace. Our students need grace. We need grace. So put that word in the comments. If y'all agree with that, put that in the comments. We all need grace here. But we can do this. We can stay on top of it. They've given some really good tips here. But let's also talk about, we also can't forget about our students with special needs. So some families we have on here, they've got students with special needs. Maisha, you've worked with schools, you've advocated for policies for children with special needs. Can you talk a little bit about how distance learning has shifted the way children with special needs will need to learn, and maybe what some parents will need to know, maybe some important things that parents will need to know so that they can advocate for their children, maybe some things that we as a community need to know so that we can advocate as well, and also help to hold the school accountable or bring things to light.
So for everyone, we just need to apply pressure, because students with disabilities, they're getting left behind with this distance learning. We have students who are blind and can't use technology. We have students with a wide variety of needs. So we have to apply pressure and make sure that they get the resources or supports that they need. Me personally, I'm recommending that every parent of a child with a disability that has an IEP is to request everything that's in that IEP. If your child have an adaptive seating or a specialized AAC device for communication, whatever it is, ask for that so that you can have it at home to continue working with your child on that. Because if you don't have it at home, then it can't continue.
Right. And so I don't mean to interrupt you, but for clarity, you're telling the parents that have children with IEPs to request this from the schools.
Yes. Send an email to the special education teacher of record, as well as the school administrator. These supplies and stuff, they're just sitting at the schools when they're supposed to be used for the students. For my daughter, I'm making arrangements right now because I do have a daughter with severe developmental delays, and a lot of her stuff I'm making arrangements to go pick up.
That's good. That's good. So there might not have been parents that knew that you could do that. I didn't know that you could do that. And I think that's awesome that you can make that request because these are if I do understand correctly from a podcast that I was listening of yours, these IEPs, they're government mandated, and the schools have to come through. But like you were saying, they're getting left behind, and so like you said, we have to apply pressure so that our children with special needs don't get left behind.
Yes, that's exactly right. That's pretty much my message tonight, is just apply pressure. Make sure that we're getting the tools and supports and stuff that we need for these students. The parents are already overwhelmed and stressed. I don't know if any of you have family members or anyone with disability.
We lost you a little bit there.
Can I up as well until she comes back? Just
yes,
on that, because exceptional children are across the spectrum, right? So those who may be dealing with, we call them different abilities, she's calling them disabilities, special needs, up to gifted children or down to gifted children, so across the spectrum. And so in my line of work, I may be dealing with or working with children who are gifted or experiencing giftedness. And believe it or not, they're getting left behind. And we've been doing the exact same thing, saying you have to advocate for your child who may be experiencing giftedness, or you feel that is gifted. I think that she's back. So Ms. McLean, I will let you finish. And then I'll talk about that more if you care to, Ms. Willis.
Okay, awesome. Yes. Maisha, you went out just a little bit, so we were going to come back to you and so you could finish. Go ahead.
Yes, I don't even remember where I left off at, but it's just really important that you ask for everything the child was working on at school. They need to continue that at home. We can't just give them a Chromebook and make up some random assignments for them to do. We have to follow what's in that IEP and what is best for them. So apply pressure.
That's so good. That's so good. All right. You heard it from Maisha. Listen, we have the whole community is in here, guys. Okay. So Maisha,
add to what Maisha was saying.
Yes.
Because a lot of people don't know that those services are available to them, and the school may act like, oh, I don't have that. I don't know. There are people who will help you with that, and these people are state people because they have to do what is put in that IEP.
Yes.
They have to honor that. And if they don't honor that, or if there's something in that IEP that they're trying to tell you that they can't do, they have to change the IEP, and you have to have a meeting in order to do that. So don't let them tell you that they don't have this or they don't have that. If they don't have it, they need to go buy it, because they are supposed to honor all these kids. And I mean, it's going to be harder than it was before because we are distant learners, but they do, I mean, they have special typing things for the kids who can't type or, write well or whatever. They have headphones for the kids. And if the kids come home and they don't have headphones in their backpacks, you need to ask your school, because they need to have headphones so that they can put the headphones on, and whatever's going on around them, they don't have to listen to. They can sit there and work. Yeah. So our school is giving them headphones in their backpacks.
Awesome. So, so we started off talking about children with different abilities, special needs, but as Rhea was talking about our gifted children, and we have gifted children in our community, they too are getting left behind. So talk a little bit more about that, Rhea.
So
what parents can do.
Including the IB programs that were almost completely shut out across the valley because they, quote, only had 1,000 students who were attending. And so it was actually on the docket to eliminate and alleviate international baccalaureate programs, IB programs. And again, in Henderson, you all do have, I think, also elementary, middle school, and definitely high school IB programs. And so my scholar families were going in and advocating, talking to school board members, saying, we are here, we matter, it is important, and it's not okay for you just to throw us to the side. And with that advocacy, thankfully, their voices were strong enough to say, we matter. You have to have curriculum. You have to have exercises. You have to have information for us. But if you feel like your child, who again is experiencing giftedness, if that's to the extremes, giftedness to maybe they're in gait, and you don't have those resources, that is your right to make sure that they have that curricula and they have that extra support. So do not be silenced. So no matter where your child, your scholar is on the exceptional child spectrum, make sure that you're fighting, and I would say push back as much as you need until they can get their full education.
That's so good. That is so good. See, y'all, listen, the more we know, right? The more we know. And sometimes we don't make a move, or we don't call, or we don't push because we just don't know. So y'all, that's what this is for. Ooh, okay, I'm so excited. Oh, y'all are blessing my soul today. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about students or families who will be who will have both parents working outside the home, or will have to won't be able to stay home. I want to kind of talk about this. Does anybody know of any programs that are out there, of any resources that are out there? Do you have any tips? I know for me, I've heard that my church, Central Church, is working on something, working with the city of Las Vegas to provide different sites for children in the community. I'm not sure when they're going to roll that out. I think they were working on that right now. But there are a lot of, children that, both parents work outside the home, or, maybe one parent home. So does anybody want to speak on that, or have any suggestions or tips or hacks or tools? Or Daishin, go ahead.
So today I saw an article about these, they call them pandemic pods. And in that article, they were talking, it's pretty much like groups of parents that get together, and they're trying to facilitate it is by location. So I'm in the group for Las Vegas, so it's just one blanket group. And then they have it sectioned off like Henderson Pod, Green Valley Pod. They even had it like Legacy Charter School. So they're trying to come together to blend resources when it comes to tutoring, teacher help, and also childcare. So I saw there's something called the Kids Club. It was a poster, a flyer that was in there, electronic flyer. Now this was in Vegas. I'm not for sure where, because I don't really go outside of Henderson, so I don't know exactly. And not because I'm bougie, it's just everything is in 10-mile radius.
Right. Okay.
But they had this thing called Kids Club, and they were offering childcare for $100 a week or a $35 drop-in.
Okay.
From 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. And they give a sibling discount, and it's for kids in 1st through 5th grade. So if you have a range of kids and they don't fall within that, then that might not be your thing. So yeah, that is one thing. And then these pandemic pods, Las Vegas, if you go there, you can get other information. There are other teachers, other tutors, and then other families. Another suggestion I have is look into meetup groups, because you have parents that homeschool already, so they might be willing to, of course, you don't want your kids going any stranger, and with a homeschool, they don't get a background check. But if you know of a family, or one parent is in the household, this is the time the tribe has to come back together. See, we've gotten away from that whole tribe. Everybody want to be independent. Not independent. No, ain't no single ladies in here. Everybody needs to be working together. So talk to other parents, because everybody's not out the home. A lot of people did lose their jobs, or some people decided not to go back to their work because they're scared to have compromised immune systems, or whatever their issue may be. So talk to them. Talk to some of the teachers. Some teachers are running side businesses where they're allowing kids to come into their homes, or they're tutoring, or they might take a couple kids that they really loved and care about and they've previously taught, and allow them to they might watch them. At least they do come with a background check.
Right.
So those are the only ones that I've come across. But yeah, so I just want to share that.
That's so good. Can you also send me that?
But think about the Boys and Girls Clubs. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead. Miss Kathy, hold on one second. Daishin, if you could send me that information, we can post it.
Okay, I'll go back and find it.
Okay, that would be perfect. We want to let people know about that. And Kathy, go ahead.
I was just going to say, at most of the schools, if your kid is not in the tutoring program, there are after-school programs, such as the Boys and Girls Clubs. A lot of our kids go there. And we have another program, and I can't think of the name. Something Bell. I can't think of the name of it. But ask those people, because they might know of a way. And I don't know about Boys and Girls Club, but I would think that if you suggested that maybe they would try to come up with an all-day thing where the kids could go there and they're in a safe place. Mm-hmm. But they can help them even, because that's what their job is. They help kids after school with tutoring and things like that. Yeah. So if you don't know anybody, that might be a place to start. But I know, like you were saying, a lot of parents, there might be some parents that can't go back to work. Or maybe one parent will take one day, another parent will take another day, until you can work it out and get it to where it works for everybody.
Absolutely.
Because this time it is going to take a village.
You cannot
do this by yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the other thing.
Listen,
Black Henderson exists so that we can know, like, who's legit and Black excellent in Henderson. We need to know. We need to see what resources that we have. We need to see the professionals that we have, who's offering tutoring and all that. And I'm not gonna spoil it, because let me tell y'all, we got some amazing people in this panel, but I'm not about to spoil it. Because y'all need to know. I think somebody's got feedback somewhere. But Rhea, I want to talk about. Oh, Rhea, were you going to say something?
I was. I hope it's not appropriate, because it is sponsored by the city of Las Vegas. But my thought is that maybe the city of Henderson, North Las Vegas, etc., are also doing the same thing. But the city of Las Vegas has a new program called the Vegas Strong Academy. It is for K, and they have to be 5 years old, K through 8th grade. And they're available from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. every single day in their city community centers, where children can go and be a part of the Vegas Strong Academy. So the only reason I mentioned it, maybe there's a boarding city. It doesn't seem like you have to be a resident of the city of Las Vegas, but if there's a community center that's close to the Henderson area, because Henderson residents can use this Vegas Strong Academy. At the same time, there may be, and probably are, the same things happening among the other cities. So that was what I wanted to mention.
Okay, awesome. Oh, this is so good. Rhea, if you could send me that, we'll post that information as well. That would be awesome. Yeah, we're just getting more and more information. We are, Black Henderson, we want Black Henderson to be a hub of information, and an area for us, for Black excellence. So this is so good, guys. I want to talk about what we're looking at. High schoolers. I got a junior. Lord Jesus. Okay. Jesus. Okay. I want to talk about what has distance learning, if any, but what has distance learning done? And now, guys, I just want to say we have people that are joining in now, because we just started inviting Black Henderson. So if you see more people popping up, they're just going to come on in, okay? Because we just don't want people to miss what's going on, okay? Listen, there's more than one way to skin a cat, okay? We are going to get this out, so don't y'all worry. But let's talk about what has distance learning, if any, what has it done to our upperclassmen as far as how they need to be preparing if they are deciding to go to college after this. What do we need to be doing as parents, as students? How do we need to be communicating with our counselors? All of that stuff. Rhea, I'm going to start with you.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Although we are all in pandemic, and we are all figuring it out together. If you and yours are interested in going to college for free, we have to keep a traditional approach to that process. With Scholarship Solutions, we say there's 5 easy ways to go to college for free. And these are what those steps are. Number 1, you have to have a good GPA. And so people ask me, Ria, what is a good GPA? A good GPA is a 3.8 GPA or higher. More than that, it is specifically the cumulative or the unweighted GPA. So you want a 3.8 GPA or higher, and that does not change although we're in pandemic. You also want strong ACT or SAT scores. So now I'm sure you guys know I get the questions every day. Wait a minute, what about this ACT optional? We don't need ACT or SAT. Come on, all the colleges are canceling it because of pandemic. But the thing that people do not know, and what I keep trying to stress is, if you look at any and everything that says that ACT or SAT is optional, they say it is for admissions. You will never see that it's for scholarships. And it is going to be very, very scary, sad, and disheartening for me, because I think out of all people, brown and black people are going to be the most highly affected in a negative way, because they are opting out of ACT and SAT. And it is going to put our people, brown people, lots of people, but I think that we are unfortunately going to be, again, at such a large deficit in regard to debt, because folks are going to be getting into college and they will have no scholarships to support that. So I'm going to ask you all to join with me. ACT and SAT is not an option. We have to figure it out even in pandemic, okay? So that's number 2. You want to have good GPA of a 3.8 or higher. You want to have a good test score on an SAT of a 1400 and an ACT of a 30. And then you want to have some great things going on. We'll even say good too. You want to have a good class rank. What does that mean? I want you to graduate in the top 10% of your class or higher. So minimally that you're finishing top 10%, because if you guys didn't know, there's scholarships just for that. And it does not matter if it's Corona, COVID-19 or pandemic, these things still count if you want to go to college and to do so without any debt. So now we're going to talk about great things. The great things that you need to have, so those are good, but these are great. The great things that you need and want to have if you're interested in having a debt-free college experience are great volunteerism. So now you're gonna say, Ree, how can I go and volunteer? We're all quarantined, we're shut in. And like I've been telling my scholars since our office is closed in March, right? Right, Ms. Patterson was like, our office is closed in March. My office closed in March, but my scholars, no matter where they are in the country, have been participating in volunteerism. Ms. Willis, I think you mentioned it. I think the same thing with Ms. Kathy. You said hope of city or hope for the city, right? You have been participating in a pandemic. And we don't believe in putting people at risk, and you should be very safe, but you have to figure it out. And if you can't do that, then you got to work with people who are very familiar with the process so that you can keep those things up even if you were in high school. And the other thing that's super important is being involved. So even though, again, we're in pandemic, there has to be something that you're involved in. What clubs, organizations, sports can you do? And again, you have to figure it out. Moreover, you need to take a leadership role, because there are going to be a ton of scholarship questions that say, not only are you just a member, but are you vice president, president, sergeant of arms? Doesn't matter what you do, from the Black Student Union to Latino Student Union. It's not important if you're on student government under the soccer club or science club. It's just doing something and taking a leadership role. And I will tell you that even through all of this craziness and drama, we still brought in $5 million in scholarships. And the reason why my scholars did that, and that was among about 14 seniors, the reason why that happened is because they made sure all of those things were happening, and it was through the guidance of myself and my staff. But because of that, I have scholars who didn't have to stay local, nothing wrong with that, and I don't want to minimize that. They had the choice if they wanted to, safety reasons, etc. I mean, you know, people want to stay close to their families, it made sense, but they could have still attended their colleges either virtually in person on a debt-free college experience track, because they kept all of these things in play all during the pandemic. So if you're wanting to do that 2021, you have to ignore the norm me, someone who's helped folks to earn $70 million in scholarships, no matter what they say, again, ACT, SAT is not optional. It's not like, oh, there's no place to volunteer. You just saw two ladies right here who were like, we've been volunteering. Look at us. We're all giving our time. You got to figure it out. And if you don't, then at least tune in to me, call me, let me know.
Woo! Listen, do I have my edges, y'all? Woo! Listen, the scholarship doctor just snatched all of my edges, okay, for my junior. Excellent. That was so spot on. Daisheen got something. Go ahead.
I do. So I just wanted, since we are just talking about college, and even if you're not in the top 10% and you're not doing all the things that Ms. Rhea told you to do, but your kid still desires to go to college, not because I went to a HBCU, but I just want to put that out there because a lot of people think like, oh, I don't want to go to HBCU, or we don't learn the same, they don't learn the same things, or they don't have quality teachers, and those. That is a lie. And at HBCU, for a lot of people, especially from where I come from, it was a second chance. Some people didn't do what they were supposed to, not the school I went to, but a lot of people that I know, like I bumped into, like one friend in college, she literally just rolled down to bring her neighbor down. And she never filled out an application, nothing. And they admitted her on the spot because those schools were put into place when post-slavery, when we couldn't get admitted to white universities. So just to kind of put that out there, they have college fairs, they have virtual college fairs. Reach out to the admissions coordinators yourself. Like they have, if your kid is in band, they got bowling teams, like they have golf teams. I mean, they compete. Some of them are in Division I. So this is not like, just, any old thing. Like the idea is that there's a home for you if you want a home and you want to go to college. So I just want to put
Harris graduated in the HCBU, so don't even talk about it.
So I just want to kind of put that out there so everybody just kind of knows that, because it doesn't come up sometimes in the best of light. And given what's been happening socially, I just want to, highlight that they'll give our kids that second chance without a second glance.
That's so good. Thank you so much. Keith, you got something too. Oh, okay, we're going to do Keith real quick, and then we'll come back to you, Rhea.
Just to add to that, I mean, Daisheen mentioned golf, and so it just triggered something in my mind. For those of you who play sports, or you don't play a sport, but you're looking for a scholarship, most kids are looking to get a scholarship in football, basketball, or those big sports. But you can actually get offered scholarships in golf. Those sports that aren't so popular, and they're giving them out. You don't even have to be good in golf, but you play, you're African American, you can get a scholarship in golf, because they don't give out a lot, and they have scholarships that they're looking to give away.
Wow. See, I'm telling y'all, the more you know. Y'all, we've been doing this for an hour, and I am so hyped right now. We got 30 more minutes, and we've got people that are joining in.
That Keith was talking about. If your child is going to do a scholarship thing, start them off in as young as you can get them.
Yes, as young
whatever the sport is. It could be tennis, it could be cheerleading. It doesn't always have to be football and basketball.
Absolutely.
Like he said, because they will take you and they will give you a scholarship. And you might be the only black one there, but that's all right.
All right, thank you, Kathy. I think your video is delayed a little bit, so it's like giving us like a little feedback or whatever. But we got you. We got still her delay coming through. But what she said was start them as early as you can. Okay.
Oh, we're freezing up.
Yeah, it's freezing up. It's okay. But start them as early as you can. Rhea, I heard you say make sure they're well-rounded. We want to make sure our children are well-rounded, that they're volunteering, that they're active, not just making grades, but that they're active, they're volunteering, they're in leadership positions. And what I heard you say is that they can still do that while in this pandemic. And that is key, y'all.
It's not impossible. And
Yeah.
those, again, the first three are good, but the last three are great. They're excellent. The last two, three are excellent. So are you involved? How altruistic are you? And again, are you showing leadership? Because there's tons of merit-based scholarships is what we call them. And you can just kind of replace the word merit with volunteerism. And it's like, it's not based on grades, it's not based on scores, but they want to know, how involved have you been? And for the kids who can say, I've been doing things regardless. And I'll just give you guys some tools that are normally kind of these secrets of scholarship solutions, but this platform that's virtual, I have children who have really been revolutionizing that process. They've been starting teen Bible studies that used to be kind of traditional, or they didn't have it all. And now they're the founders of those. And they are the ones who said, we know we need this fellowship, and they're doing that virtually. There's folks who are creating all kinds of like special projects for maybe underprivileged children. So is that a bookmark or flashcards? And you have to just do it, right? And figure it out and make it happen, and then tell your story. So yeah, it's not impossible to still have an altruistic spirit and heart and to get things done even in pandemic. And that's from the youngest to the youngest at heart. It does not matter again. And yes, you should start early, like Miss Kathy said.
Yes, start them early.
Young.
And they're offering them at the school. I know for us at our school that they're still requiring, they're asking for sponsors for clubs and stuff like that. So they're still trying to figure out a way to still have student council, virtual meetings, whatnot. Like Ms. Rhea said, also like my friend, she works at Chicago Public Library, and she reads to kids. That's part of her job. She's a children's librarian, but you could tap in now that you know how to use your Chromebook. Now that you have a camera, you can read to younger kids, or have your little brother sit next to you while you read also. So just to let you know, but CCSD does plan on, at least I know at the high school level, they're still having clubs and organizations too.
Okay, so now we know, y'all, there's no excuse for our teenagers to say, oh no, I can't do that, blah, blah, blah. No, they can do it. They can be well-rounded. We can get them engaged and involved, all that good stuff. And that's just for their betterment, period. That's for, so they can be excellent as they graduate and move into adulthood. So let's shift gears just a little bit, and let's talk about mental health for a little bit. I know my son Jonathan, social butterfly. Okay, like he is. He's like, when do I get to see somebody? When do I get to see somebody? And when the pandemic first hit and school shut down, little man was depressed for a while. I mean, he was, just going through, as a 9-year-old, kind of has to navigate, and we had to, I was doing check-ins with him and talking to him and things like that. Now my daughter, honey, she can stay in her room all day. She, 16, whatever. But even then, she had to kind of deal with some, just issues of not being around friends and, not socializing and things like that. So Keith, I want to talk about how we, as families and our households, as we are, maybe sitting around dinner tables or whatever, what can we do as parents to make sure that we, are checking in with our mental health, our children's mental health? How can we just make sure that our children are mentally healthy during this time?
So, with every relationship, if you say that there's a problem with any relationship in the world, we can always push it back down to communication. Right? Communication is key. Making sure that you communicate with your young people, with your child, on a consistent basis. And when I say communicate, I don't mean, staying on top of them saying, did you do this? Did you do that? Did you do this? But actually asking about their well-being. How are you doing? How is this? Is this stressful for you? How can I help you? And giving them an open book to talk and to communicate about how they're really feeling. A lot of times, a lot of our kids don't even want to talk. And so it makes it difficult, but continually providing that space. Each school, maybe not every school, but most schools have social workers and safe school professionals that are readily available for you to call and talk to. As a matter of fact, they'll be calling at least every student who we can't get in touch with, who's kind of fell between the cracks. But utilizing those resources. If you can, find a mental health professional in your community or in your neighborhood that will help you to have those conversations with your kids. But if you allow them to stay in their rooms and to be secluded, then they could possibly go through some depression or be involved in some things that because of boredom that you may not want them to be. So it's important that you change the way you communicate if you haven't done so already. Giving your kids an opportunity to talk. I heard you mention that your young one, Nikki and Jay, that staying cooped up in the house causes some depression for him. And the same thing with my daughter. My daughter is, she's a dancer. She has a schedule that is ridiculous, and it came to a screeching halt. And once it came to a screeching halt, she went through some withdrawals, some challenges from not being around her friends. So what they did was they did frequent drive-bys where they allowed, their friends to get in cars and drive by, definitely for special occasions like birthdays, or they just picked somebody to drive by. Another thing that they did to communicate with their friends is they sent each other letters, cards. And so one day my daughter got a host of cards from her friends. And so that kind of helps. It doesn't substitute, but it helps with changing that for your children. We'll be remiss if we didn't talk about a little bit about the effects of distant learning on our communities, right? This is going to be a difficult process for us. I'm assuming, right? This is only an assumption, but when there's a lot of kids, I work in the district as well. There's a lot of kids who don't go to class, right? Who they spend more time in McDonald's or In-N-Out or Smith's or whatever's in your school area. They spend more time there than they do on a school campus. And so that's where trouble happens. And so when you talk about the school to prison pipeline, it just became broader, right? Kids can get there in a lot of ways. So when we see these kids in our communities in Henderson, don't be afraid to speak up. Definitely men, we have to speak up and say, hey, how y'all doing? Speak to them. Make sure that you just check in with them. You don't have to check them on what they're doing. Just check on how they're doing. And so just being a voice in a community when you see kids that look like us.
Yes.
So, that's very, very important. Yep. Also, I think we've explained it a lot already, but parents, please be patient. We're at the point where the professionals are now amateurs, right? Like we don't know what we're doing on this video thing for a lot of us. And so we're learning as we're going. We're like, we're building the bike as we ride it. So please be patient. Please be consistent though with your child. Make sure your child is getting their work done and doing their work, but also take care of yourself. Have some self-care. Allow your child to step away. I know video games aren't great, for a lot of reasons, but give them time to step away from the books and spend some time maybe playing a game or doing something that they like to do for a little while, and then they get to come back and do some education. Because this thing is going to be difficult for a lot of us. Yeah,
it's definitely going to be a change. But these are great tips. This is great advice, Keith. Especially, what I'm also hearing you saying loud and clear is that it takes a village. Yeah. I totally feel you. We definitely, need to just check in on one another, check in on our young people. They might not know us, but hey, a smile and hey, I'll buy you some ice cream, you good, whatever. Just making sure that we're taking care of our own. It's gonna that's why y'all I want to make sure that we continue to check in on each other. I don't want this to be the only time that we do this, right? Because listen, we got at least one semester that we have to do this, and who knows what it's going to look like in October and November and everything else. So hopefully we'll talk offline, but kind of lightweight on the record. I hope that y'all join me again to do this and to make sure that we're just continuing, because like you said, we're building this bike as we ride. We'll be learning new things as we go. So why not come back together and talk more about this? Kathy, I thought you were gonna say something. I think you're kind of peeking in and out though. Your volume is kind of in and out, so I don't know if we can hear you. Okay, I think it's kind of going in and out. But if you want to put it in the chat,
Can you hear me?
it's real bad. We can't hear you.
You can hear me?
Mm-mm.
You guys can hear me?
It's getting a little bit better. Say it again. Okay, I think it went back out. Yeah, I think it went back out. Oh shoot. That's okay though.
I always have trouble here. I think this is
It's okay. You know, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll just record what you have tomorrow. And I'll share it with
I
everybody.
want to try this because it's kind of a lot.
Okay. That's okay. We can record it tomorrow and I can share it with everybody. Trust me, there's more than one way to do that. So we can do this.
I had a quick question for Keith before we went on. So let's say Kathy's still on there?
It's just feedback.
Well, look, I wanted to say, can you hear me? Am I out again?
We can't hear. I think she's on mute, but it's still. You might have to go back out and then come back in. Okay, Jay, try it now.
What would you say would be from like a mental aspect? Let's say school starts back regular next semester and these kids have gotten used to being, virtual, being in their room, doing their work, going to school. Like, is there like a mental transition that we need to like prepare our kids for? Because it's like, I was used to regular school. Now I'm doing virtual. Now I'm going back. So is it like, that may be hard. Kids feel like they're going back and forth and feel like they're being yo-yo from virtual to regular school.
Yeah, I think Jay, for a lot of our kids, right? If the parents do this thing, good enough, kids are gonna be running out of the house, man. Like kids can't wait to get out of the house and get back to socializing. One thing I do realize is relationships are key. Everything in life, we need relationships to survive. So being without them for these next few months is going to be, very difficult on a lot of kids. And then you have to look at those kids who are in homes where abuse is happening. There's not a lot of food. They can't wait to leave the house. You're going to see, you might want to move your car out the street, get out of the road, because you might get ran over by a gang of kids going to work or going to school. But to to answer your question, this can be comfortable. As a matter of fact, I was sharing with my wife about, like I can get used to working from home, doing, therapy online. However, there's a personal aspect that I miss, a person-to-person aspect that I miss. But this can be comfortable, and so the transition from this space to a space where you now have to go to school every day, and I don't know about the students that the rest of you work with, but I know a lot of my kids don't even like coming to school. I spend a lot of time knocking on doors and going to see kids, so it may be a little difficult to get them to come back in. How, Jay? I don't know, man. It's going to be again, we're building it as we ride, But I do know that for a lot of kids, man, they'll be busting down the doors. Your kids as well, I'm sure. I know they're gonna get some good education in your house, man. So they're gonna be running up out of there.
Better believe it. That's so
I hope
good.
I answered your question.
No, I mean that's an excellent answer. I mean, like you said, we're building the bike as we're riding. So so I think it's gonna be important to have this conversation, at least have this conversation by the end of the semester to check in, see how things are going. How do we need to shift? What worked? What didn't work? What do we need to do as a community What do we recommend, for our households, all that stuff. We'll have to do this again, which I'm more than happy to do it because, hey, the more you know. Reed, were you going to say something?
I was thinking about this idea this morning. My scholar family called me from Georgia, and the parent, she was just apologizing profusely. Like, we haven't done anything, Rhea. I can't believe school is starting. And I've been trying to pinpoint, and it just hit me when I was like, you don't need to apologize. It's fine. We're going to restart. And I said, it's grief. And it just hit me through this whole process when, people are feeling stunted and stopped, even though it's like we're all home and have nothing to do. Why aren't so many things being accomplished? And I was like, I think it's the process of grief. We haven't ever been through this, right? Our parents didn't go through this. Probably our grandparents didn't go through this. And it's like, this is all new to everyone. Yeah. So I have to realize, okay, now we're in denial a little bit, right? Oh, bye, please, with the 110. And now we realize this is our life for right now. So now we might not quite be to acceptance, but it's these stages of grief. And I think if that can be kind of expressed in, even what Keith just said, that was incredible, that, and with accountability, that we will make it. Our kids will make it, we will make it. And, just having a platform like this and however people are reaching out and to be like, whatever you're doing, and if that's survival mode, it's okay. However you're thriving, okay. But I think I put that together like, okay, and now we've maybe gone through denial and we have to refigure this thing. But at the end of the day, we're going to.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good. I think that's maybe some of you parents that are watching this, maybe you just identified it like Rhea just did, like, that's what it is. Like, that's what's going on in my house and, with my kids and, they thought that they were going to, be starting sports this fall and, just like everything is changing and this is like a new normal and children process that differently. And so, and adults process that differently. So yeah, maybe you might be kind of identifying with that right now. But just know that it's okay. Go ahead and grieve that. Like, go through the process, be disappointed, like allow your child to be disappointed that they don't get to play football this year, or, my daughter, she was gonna be on varsity this year, that type of stuff. It's okay to acknowledge those feelings and talk about it and allow them to be real with that moment. So, so good. Thank you so much, Rhea and Keith. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for that. Oh, y'all, I only got 10 minutes left. Dang. Okay, this is so good.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, yes. I can hear you, Miss Kathy. Go ahead.
See, my kids are probably playing in the yard by now. It took me so long to get back on the computer, but that's all right. But what I wanted to say is look at how their parents react to things. So whatever you're thinking, however you're thinking, and I think that's what you guys were talking about, let them know it's okay to be mad. Let them know it's okay to whatever, and just try to talk to them as much as you can about how you feel. The most important thing I was trying to tell you guys is start putting your kids on a schedule now. Don't wait till next Monday or Sunday and say, okay, we got to go to bed early because you got to be up for school tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Don't do that, especially with the younger kids. You have to start next week. Okay, we're going to bed at 8 o'clock now because school is starting. And you need to be able to get up, get your teeth brushed, get some clothes on, comb your hair, do something so that you're ready for school. Because that's really one of the most important things that you can do. Then just remind, while you're teaching them or they're learning from home, let them move around. They're saying they can't sit on this computer all day long. And we as teachers, they're going to take breaks too. And play a little music, let them do whatever, let them chat with each other. Because like you say, some of them haven't seen each other. So we're going to give them time before class starts or whatever, where we'll just let them talk, and we won't necessarily be hearing unless we hear something we shouldn't be hearing, but give them that time to interact with each other because they won't have it at school.
Yeah.
But you got to get them in bed now. Get them in bed, because especially those babies.
Go to bed. I did it. Go to bed. Good. Miss Kathy said.
Can we hear you?
Miss Kathy said, "Go to bed."
Miss Kathy said it's time to go to bed, bud.
I'm fussing at that baby.
I have one thing to say out of everything. Look, I'm no teacher, I'm no expert or nothing like that. But one thing I do know is there's a lot of internet service being used, and there's a lot of technology being used in these homes more than ever now. You know what I mean? So we need to really look at that. Like it's no problem us going in that closet and looking at the internet service. If we have the money to call Cox Cable and boost that up a little bit so we're not lagging, so our kids can actually get on and view their teacher, you know, I think it's important to really invest in those services if we can afford it. If we can afford to boost that service up $50 more so our children can be comfortable being on the internet while you're in the other room working, you know, at MGM or wherever the freak you're working at, you know, do that, because that's going to help your child get through their education with their teacher. You know, they can't be lagging out on their Chromebook and you lagging out at your job. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's a lot of internet service being used. So let's keep that in our head. So that's my 2 cents that I needed to put in there.
Thank you.
I don't know nothing, y'all.
Ms. Gardner, I want a setup like yours. Like I want a TV right here.
Oh Lord.
Her setup is all nice.
My headphone. Only thing I put my phone on the wall.
This my husband set me up like this, y'all. Y'all saw I went down for a second. I was like, oh Lord, the sound out. The sound is out. Help me out now.
Yeah, that's dang. I like that setup.
Dasha, you had something to share.
Yeah, I kind of picking back off of what Ms. Kathy said. Just as a reminder, we're now in your homes, and teachers are mandated reporters. So, you know, just in case you want to, you know, pop somebody upside their head, or, you know, take out the belt, or, you know, say some choice words, please understand that if we see something, we're going to have to say something. And this is not the time, you know, you want those people in your business. So that I'm not telling you how to chastise your child or how to raise your child, but please understand that if we see something, not only do we see it, but the other students see it. So then now we're, you know, I'm not saying we wouldn't have said anything to begin with, but now we're really pressed because now it's out there, or it could be even recorded, because we can record our class sessions as well. So just kind of putting that out there when it comes to, like, because you are the TA, you are the disciplinarian, you are the dean. You need to do those in off school hours though. And then kind of going back to the internet, just in case there's anybody, or you know of anybody that does not have internet access, Cox does, if you do get like government assistance, whether it be like Social Security, so if it's an older person in the home, or if you get, you know, food stamps or any of those type of services, they do have a low cost program that you can get. Be you know, as fast as Ms. Gardner was just talking about. Maybe you can add on a couple extra dollars and maybe they'll, you know, help you out. But just kind of putting that out there too, because I know we've been calling around asking parent technology surveys, and that's one of the things we ask. Do you have internet access? So just putting that out there too.
That is very true. My son's teacher called us today, and he had a list of questions to ask, and one of those were, do you have access to internet in the home? Does your son have access to a laptop or computer in the home? Listen, now it's not the time to be super prideful. If you need Chromebooks, if you need internet access, tell them that you need it. Listen, I went and picked up my daughter's Chromebook from the high school. I'm not paying for no other laptop. Come on, y'all. Make sure you know that your children have what they need. and call up there, do it tomorrow if you need to do it in the morning or whatever. The district, they're pulling out all stops to help, but we need to know what's available. So I'm going to give you guys a couple of websites. Make sure you go to ccsd.net. That is our district website. All the information is on there. You should now have your child's teacher assigned to you, and you should also know what your child's class schedule is now. If you don't have those two items, call the school in the morning, period, point blank. You should know all that by tomorrow. No exceptions, y'all. If you need to register your child, if you haven't registered, go to ccsd.net. You can register your child for school, and they will walk you through it. They will help you through it. But it's pretty easy to do. Let's see. Oh, okay. I got like 7 minutes left, but we've got some amazing entrepreneurs in here, and I wanted to give opportunity for everyone with the business or tutoring or side hustle or whatever to make sure that you can share that business. So Rhea, I'm going to start with you, and then we'll kind of go clockwise where I'm seeing. So Rhea, go ahead. The scholarship doctor, go ahead and tell us.
Hey y'all, I am Rhea, the Scholarship Doctor, where we help scholars of all ages from 0 to 99, from the womb to the tomb, from birth to death, to have a debt-free college experience. We do that through ACT and SAT test prep. We also do that through the college and scholarship coaching processes. It does not matter how young or young at heart you are. We would love to help you to go to college for free. That's me.
All right, thank you, Rhea. And Keith? Go ahead and share about your therapy business.
Okay, so it's called Keith Stark Therapy. I'm on Facebook, on Instagram as Keith the Therapist. I provide mental health counseling to families, to individuals, to couples, just helping us to deal with the stressors of life. Depression, anxiety. I really focus a lot on African-American males who are struggling with, we all struggle with this PTSD from slavery, right? And so I really focus a lot on that. So again, look me up. I'm on Psychology Today, Keith Stark Therapy, and that's it.
All right, thank you, Keith. And Daisheen.
Okay, so I will be offering tutoring services and homework help. So it's step-by-step education solutions. And right now you can just call me and we can set up, or you can go to the website and set up a 15-minute consultation, because I want to make sure that I'm the right fit for families. So I just don't want to take anybody on, and I don't want to extend my time, what I can do. So I want to actually talk to family, get to know you, find out what your needs are. So if you need any help in reading comprehension, just homework support, or if you are a college student, or as a parent, you're the college student, or you have a student in college, you need paper reviews, you need somebody to check and do a double edit before you submit that paper. I do offer those services as well. So I'll be working with, even though I'm at high school, I can help you if you're in grades 3rd through 12th.
Ooh, I love it. How can they reach you, Daisheen?
Step-by-step education solutions.com or step-by-step education solutions@gmail. I'll put it here in the chat, and I'll post a flyer in the group.
Perfect. Okay, perfect. And then Maisha.
Yes, I'm also offering tutoring services for students in kinder through 8th grade. I also provide advocacy for parents. If you have a child with special needs or disabilities, I will be right there in those meetings advocating, going over those terms and explaining everything in details. Yes, this is the year of Black excellence, so we got this.
Yes. Oh, I love it. Miss Kathy, are you tutoring? I don't know.
I prefer to tutor in the morning, because by the time I get through with those kids, I'm tired, I can't see straight. But, if somebody needs something, know that everything, don't laugh at me.
We love you.
Everything that you think you know, there is something on YouTube that will teach you what you need to know. Okay, there's all kinds of tutorials on YouTube, and they will spell it out just like a teacher does in the classroom. So that's all I can say.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Kathy. Miss Kathy said, listen, y'all go to parents, y'all get on YouTube and get yourself together, okay? She said, hey, listen, y'all be with these kids all day. What did you tutor? What?
Good job, Miss.
You Oh, Miss Kathy cracks me up. Y'all know I love Miss Kathy. Listen, my mama's not here. This is my mom right here. I love Miss Kathy. Okay, listen, I want to thank each and every one of you, my panelists. You guys knocked this out of the park. I am so full. I am so full. You guys are excellent. I can't wait to post this and just have everybody get all this. I think also what we're going to do is kind of put these in clips. Because, you know, people do like really good sound bites. So we're going to put these in clips and we're going to just keep posting and sharing this information. You guys are incredible. And we're going to post your businesses. We're going to promote your businesses and make sure that people have this information. Guys, the more you know, I'm telling you, the more you know. We have talked about scholarships. We've talked about special needs. We've talked about children with gifts. We have talked about elementary school all the way up through 12th grade. We have talked about mental health all in an hour and a half, and it's incredible. Miss Kathy, I can't hear you. What'd you say?
And didn't hit half of it. Didn't hit half of it.
I know, right? We just scratched the surface, right?
So much more to learn.
There's so much more. And so that's why I hope you guys will come back on with me. We'll do like a post soon. And I want to get this out so that everybody can see the richness of this discussion and let people know that we're out here. Black excellence is here, okay? We've got the professionals here. We have got great conversation and so many resources in this conversation. It's incredible. So don't forget, y'all, I haven't forgot that we have a Amazon gift card at stake, okay? So those of you, we're gonna post this tonight, and we've got 24 hours and if you have commented at any point in this video, we will put you in the drawing, and we will draw this 24 hours from now. So we'll draw the name 24 hours from now and pick that person. So all you have to do is just comment in the video in our Facebook group, and you will be a part of the drawing for the $25 gift card, whether that is for some school supplies or a bottle of wine that you need after a long day of teaching. Whatever, you know, I don't judge, okay? I'm not judging. But that's what it's gonna be for. So it's gonna be for somebody. It's gonna be $25 gift card. All you have to do is comment. That's what I want you to do. And listen, there was so much that you can amen and yes and and thumbs up about. So I can't wait to see all those comments. I'm also gonna see if we can try to share this since we recorded it. Why not? I think more people need to hear this. So Lisa's gonna help me work on that and figure this out. Thank you, Lisa. Again, thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. I'm about 5 minutes over. So thank you guys for joining me. I have been your host today, Nikki Willis with Black Henderson. Thank you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, have a great night. Listen, it's gonna be a great school year. We've got this. We've got this. All right, guys, have a great night. Thanks. Bye.